Streaming, good. Okay. Mic is on, desktop on, good. Let me go ahead and get this sent off. All right. So, with that being said, let's get to it, guys.
Recording in progress.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you for checking out another one of my weekly Forex and crypto analysis. I do appreciate y'all for hopping on. For those on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe, please. We do appreciate it, And just for you guys, just so you guys have an FYI, right now Payne is on a break. He's off of social media and off of a lot of media right now. He's just enjoying the process right now. You know what I'm saying? So just wanted to give you guys that info. But of course, there's still going to be value given to y'all through the next wave. So first of all, let's go ahead and go through the weekly fundamentals. I like going through the fundamentals real quick throughout the week. What's going on, P? What's going on, player P? Let's get to it, my boy. So, with that being said, 11:30 Australian dollar cash rate RBA rate statement. Let me turn this music down for myself. That's going to be happening for Monday, tomorrow, 11:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. No news Tuesday or Wednesday. Thursday, 6:45 a.m. There's going to be Euro news for main refinancing rates and monetary policy statement. And then there's going to be 7:30 a.m. Central Standard Time Euro ECB press conference. This is probably what you're going to want to be watching for with this refinancing rate. I mean, this doesn't look like it's going to be changing, but still, regardless, for those who trade Euro pairs, you definitely want to watch for this news on Thursday. And then you're going to have Canadian dollar. Governor Macklem will be speaking 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And then Friday, we have employment change and unemployment rate for the Canadian dollar. And we have CPI and core CPI with the US dollar at the same time for 7:30 a.m. So for the US dollar related, as of what it looks like on Forex Factory, it's not that much high impact news that we will be watching for, but you definitely do want to pay attention to what the other, like something like my FX book or what other websites might be saying as well, because there are times that Forex Factory does not give you all of the news. And it's just, I've noticed that not as of late, but it's just something that you definitely want to pay attention to. So, all right. So now I'm going to go over the charts, right? Let's go over the charts. I'm going to actually change it up, and I'm going to be just marking up the chart. Well, not changing it up. This is how I used to analyze, and I'm going back to it. I'm going to have it where I'm going to be on the gray chart the whole time, and then I'll take on and off RB. But I do want to go over what I was saying for the analysis last week. So, US dollar, last week I was saying, hey, what I want to see with the US dollar is, sorry, I need to put this one way down for myself. There you go. Okay. I wanted to see price break out through this structure. What's up, Carlo? I forgot to say that earlier. I wanted to see this structure get broken before I start to be really bullish on the US dollar longer time frame wise, right? On the smaller time frames, I was saying I want to see this structure right here get broken and then a retracement in another bullish move. That was what I would want to have played. And I said that, hey, there's this falling wedge that's playing out. I want to wait for that breakout, and everything's playing out accordingly. So that's what I was seeing last week with the US dollar. Let's go on over here and gonna go on over to the monthly time frame. I'm gonna add a couple of things on to the. I want to add a couple of things on here. I'm gonna go ahead and add. I want to add session volume, visible range, and regular volume onto my charts. And wait, what the heck? Okay, there you go. And that's because, again, I'm going to be... Why is this not... Huh. Hold on. Oh, what the heck? Why is it this one? Hold on, give me a second, guys. Yeah, that's weird. I could have sworn... Yeah, why is it saying that this is not provided? Or unless it's the same... That was weird. Okay, whatever. Never mind. So, I'm going to go ahead and take off these volume real quick. I want to go over the first DXY that has more data on it, but doesn't provide volume, before I do talk about the other this other DXY that I'm actually going to do my analysis on. So, monthly time frame, I want to go over that real quick. We have here this is the month of April, very bullish candle for the monthly time frame. And then we have the candlestick of May. It had a large wick to the upside, and then it's closed bearish. Even though it did close bearish, and this is the same thing that I was saying last week, if it closed this way, and I'm actually glad that it left a wick to the downside. I was saying that, hold on, before I do that, let me draw this zone out that price was rejecting off of. I was saying, even though we see that price did get closed with the large wick to the upside and everything like that, it's still not going to give me a warning sign to say, hey, this is going to start turning around. I'm going to need more price action to start to tell me that, yes, this is indeed going to start going bearish. Like, if this month's candle on June is an engulfing bearish candle, then yeah, that's when I'll start to say, okay, yeah, this is going to probably start to change some type of structure, right? On the weekly time frame, same thing. Like, yes, there was a bearish engulfing candle here, and then another bearish candle over here as well. But I was saying, and again, I'll just point it out over here, on the weekly time frame, I was saying that, hey, from the low of 99.662, or basically from the low of 99.66 to the high of 104.857, prices still came into this area where it could potentially turn around and go bullish, which it did really give a really good rejection off of that 71% Fibonacci level, went bullish and then continued to the downside. So when I'm seeing that, hold on, give me a second. So when I'm seeing that, I definitely am like, okay. Same thing over here when I come on to the daily time frame. You draw your fib from this low to this high. Price come down to that 71% fib, went bullish. Cool, awesome, right? Got the break of this little structure that I was looking for. Going on over to wait, let me look at the daily time frame. As much as there is, yes, still this bearish candle right here that is not making me so good feeling, like it's not giving me the greatest confidence. There you go. The greatest confidence in this to say that it's going to continue going bullish. But let me actually go on to the other DXY and map this out instead. So I'm going to leave it like this. There you go. So, and the reason why I'm saying it's not giving me the greatest confidence is because this candle, if we're being realistic, it engulfed this bullish engulfing candle, And again, on the weekly time frame, that makes it look like it left a wick to the upside. But it's still at an area where I'm like, hey, I still like where it could potentially go bullish at, realistically speaking, on a 4-hour time frame, prices came down pretty decently. And again, let me go ahead and draw out this falling wedge. You got the breakout, the retracement. This is the structure that I wanted to get broken for me to start saying that, hey, I want to get some bullish price action. And we had a good amount of time that price was above this structure before it ended up falling. So ultimately right now what I'm looking for on, let me add volume on here real quick. Ultimately, hold on. Ultimately what I'm looking for is for price to, I mean, it really did already do what I wanted it to do. It went bullish, retraced, came down to the 71% at least. 70, I mean, even if it came to the 61.8 and continued going bullish, I would have been like, well, that's what I wanted it to do, so it's okay. But ultimately, this play is what I'm looking for, and I want price to continue going bullish. So just like how it says right there towards the left, where I say my bias remains bullish for the US dollar. Even last week I was saying that I'm still looking for a bullish US dollar. I'm just not ready to buy it yet. Like I already am in a Euro USD sell, so I'm still holding that same bias. I'm still in this same trade. I do see the opposite end of it all, of where hey, if price, let me get rid of this fib actually, and let me draw this zone, and I'm gonna actually not get rid of the fib, I'm gonna use it. I do see the flip side of it, whereas like, hey, price went pretty bearish right here. What if price came from that high to this low on the 1 hour time frame, came back up to the structure, and then went bearish? Well, if it does that, then I'll be watchful for it. I have a watchful eye of this possibility happening, but that's not what I'm playing, and I'm still going with the directional bias of what the higher time frames of the US dollar is saying, and that's saying that price should continue going bullish. So let me go ahead and also put in the volume, the session volume. That's where price is currently at for Friday. Price is there. It still has some climbing that it can do. Yeah, price can definitely make that potential move to the upside and then fall to the downside. Price has already reached those. Price still has some potential volume. It could come down here to grab. Wait. I may be wrong about there, man. Go over here. Go on to the higher time frame. See where the volume is sitting at overall. Yeah, daily time frame. I mean, the volume is sitting like this is where the majority of the volume in the market is sitting right now in the 4 hour, based on how much we have with price. If I zoom out a little more, I'm pretty sure, yeah, volume will come down will start to show that there's still some down over here. But it's gonna take a while for price to come to these lows over here. It's gonna take quite some time, and I don't think price is quite ready to do that yet. So we'll see what goes on with the US dollar. Let me go ahead and throw arbitrage on here real quick. Oops, that is not what I wanted to add. There we go. Okay, so 4 hour time frame. This played out pretty perfectly. This played out pretty perfectly in the sense of where I was saying that, hey, with the 4 hour time frame, I want price to break out, and once it calls for the buy, make the retracement to the RSI line or lower danger zone, and then continue going bullish. And I mean, price has done just that. And as long as it continues going, then I mean, I don't see anything on the 4 hour time frame saying that it shouldn't as of yet, other than the fact that price is at the mean line. If I would have taken the trade, like if this was based off of RB, then of course my stop loss would be at break even, because price is currently at that mean line. But again, I don't see any reason why I should be getting out the trade other than the dollar on the daily is still calling for the bears. Now, even though this is still calling for the bears, the the level pro is still very much bullish on the US dollar, and the level pro, it's only the RSI line that's underneath the ground zero. So it's still not confirmed yet. And also the momentum line, this red line, isn't below here either. But I'm not too crazy over the fact that this candle is currently magenta. It's not really a good sign, right? So, like I said, I do see the opposite end of it, where the US dollar can still go potentially bearish. Still not quite 100% gonna go, I'm not saying that I'm not, like I said, my buy still remains the same of a bullish US dollar, but I'm not going to say that, I don't see the possibility for it to sell, because it's right there. So that being said, that's what my analysis on the US dollar is. Going over to Euro USD. Okay, so Euro USD last week, like I said, it was the opposite of the DXY, where I said, hey, at this zone, once it comes to the that, the Euro USD is bearish, since it's the inverse of the DXY. And I said, hey, once it comes to this Fibonacci zone right here, I want to see this falling wedge, whether if it's going to stop here or if at the 786, wherever it was going to stop at. I want to, once the breakout to the downside happens, which we got it right here, retracement, then a continuation to the downside. That's what I want to see happen with Euro USD. Now, there's only one thing that I'm not too crazy over with Euro USD, and is that this structure, as much as it did get broken on the lower time frames, it's not that great looking on the 4-hour time frame. Yes, it did close underneath it for one candlestick on the 4-hour, but right after that, price just jumped right back up. Even looking at the 1-hour time frame, it doesn't look that, it just looks like, okay, it's whatever. Like, yeah, I came down over here, but I didn't necessarily close down here for a good amount of time, versus what the DXY looks like. But my bias is based on the US dollar overall still remaining bullish, because if it remains bullish, it's a very small likely chance that Euro USD is going to not go bearish. Like, it's going to be very difficult for that to happen. So with that being said, yeah, I still want to see breakout retest continuation to the downside. I still want to see that on the DXY. Nothing's really changed for me. It's going over to some TA without RB there. Okay, so monthly time frame, a wick to the downside, and it's a bullish, it closed bullish, but not anything that's alarming and telling me that I should have a bias change on the US dollar, even though it did reject off of this support. And it's the monthly time frame support, so that's something I got to pay attention to. Weekly time frame, the 2 weeks prior to this week, they were both pretty bullish engulfing candles, but still, based off of, like I said, based off of the monthly time frame, I'm not going to switch my bias quite yet to this being a bullish US dollar. Until this structure right here gets broken, personally, I'm not going to have a bullish US dollar bias. Once this gets broken, then I can start to say, okay, maybe this is going to start to go bullish. So I said that, hey, from this high to this low, there's equal lows up here, of course, but from this high to this low, the price is currently at this Fibonacci zone where it could reject off of and go bearish. And so that's what I'm aiming for on both the higher time frames and the lower time frames, because the same thing is going on currently with price. You know, if I go on lower, and let me actually show the trade that I'm in with the Euro USD. Wait, is it on here or is it on here? Let me see real quick. Let me see what this is looking like. 4 hour. Yeah, it's on here. Oops. There you go. So this is currently the trade that I'm in on Euro USD. The fibs have been rejecting from this high to this low right here on the 4 hour time frame pretty nicely, and it hit the 1-to-1 risk to reward from the 78.6. My position, however, was down over here. I got in a little too early, but that's totally fine. I still hold the same bias, and I'll go over that more on here. So yeah, 4 hour time frame, when I zoom in, I see that, hey, price, I like the bearish move that it made, even with this bearish candlestick here as well. The volume, I liked it, even though it wasn't that much of volume that kicked in with this candlestick. I still liked that it was a good amount versus the other candlesticks. And then I ended up drawing this fib from this high to this low because I said, hey, let me get rid of this real quick. I said, wait, what did I just get rid of? Oh, that's the box. I need that. This is what I wanted to get rid of. Okay, I said, hey, you know, if price makes this retracement back to the upside, and the way how arbitrage was looking with it, and once I put arbitrage on once I plugged arbitrage in, that's even more of a reason why I got in the trade early, and I was okay with that. Or did I get in late? I feel like I got in late or early. I don't know. I have to go back and see on my MT4. But you know, I like seeing that price was increasing, and as price, I mean, I didn't necessarily care for that price was increasing and volume was increasing as well. But then when price got up here, there was really no volume, and then as price was starting to push to the downside, that's what volume started to increase. That was what I was looking at on the 4 hour. I was saying, okay, you know what, I'm gonna stay in the trade or get in or whatever way I was feeling. I'm still in the trade, and I still feel like this could potentially, I mean, price push it to the downside, volume starts to increase. It got right here. I didn't like necessarily seeing that, but overall, I'm still gonna see how this is gonna play out. Get some more volume on here. The volume profile, this is another reason why I was saying that I wanted to see this push to the downside, because the volume profile literally goes right to those extensions with this pricing that's all over here, right? But of course, if we're going to the daily, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of volume to the upside. Yeah. So we'll see what goes down, but overall, I am still holding my sell on Euro USD. Let me go ahead and put in some RB on here real quick. So you guys see what I mean when I said that I'm gonna hold my sell. Let me actually copy that, paste it right there. So you guys see what I mean, that I'm gonna still hold this sell, because even with my technical analysis, it still looked good to me for me to stay in the trade. So Level Pro is kind of scary for the sells. It's telling me to get out the sells, and kind of likewise with Arbitrage Z. So I do have to be careful with this play. I feel like if price comes back up to these highs, then I'll get out early so that I can get like a 0.6 or 60% loss instead of having a 100% loss of what I was risking. Probably like I'll lose, instead of losing 90 pips, I would lose 66 pips or something like that. So that's with Euro USD. Let me go ahead and go on over. I'm going to take a look at UChef because I've been playing myself not looking at it. Okay, so since I didn't look at it last week, we're just going to have a fresh markup on it right now. Okay, so damn, did I not bring any water in here? Oh wait, no, I have some. Never mind. There we go. All right, so USHF monthly time frame, very bullish, engulfing candlestick, but then I do not like that volume. The wick that came to the upside where this last monthly zone was at. That's kind of scary. It's kind of scary looking how price just came up and then just left the wick. But I feel like ultimately price is going to end up chasing that wick. I really do feel like it's going to chase that wick. And if it does that, then it's going to be really nice for the US dollar as well. There was a lot of more volume. Well, not a lot more, but there was more volume on this candlestick right here than on this one, according to the FXCM volume provider, or the FXCM provider. Going on to the weekly time frame, bearish engulfing candle right there. Yeah, I don't like seeing that either. And the volume was the highest on this week's candle on the week of the 23rd of May amongst those candlesticks. So it's kind of interesting to see. I mean, it's not really that high compared to this volume, but still, nonetheless, it's gonna be interesting to see what USHF is gonna do. Overall, I still feel like USHF still can come down a little lower. It still has that possibility of coming down lower. I mean, right now it's just consolidating, and it's right above that 61.8. Let me see. I don't want to say that this is necessarily what is happening with USHF, but it's a possibility. You know, from this low to this high, and I draw that fib right there because this is where price broke off from this zone that it was struggling at to break before making this bullish run. So that's the reason why I say, like, you know, yeah, as much as it's rejecting off of that 78.6 right there, I don't necessarily feel it's a play. You know, it's a play, and it's a play that if I see it, I'd be like, hey, I could try it out. You know, 'cause on the lower time frame, there's plays within here. So I just have like this area as a place where I'm like boxed off, and I'm like, you know what, hey, if I see bullish opportunities in here, I'm gonna take them. You know, even, and likewise, I mean, bearish opportunities show up as well. But going on over to the daily, sorry, I don't know why I was going over there. Going on over to the daily time frame, I do enjoy seeing this bullish engulfing candle right here. Price is larger than this bearish candle, so that is a decent sign for me, but the volume is not that great right here. So that's something that I'm watching for. 4-hour time frame, price did, you know, I mean, again, this is just a corrective move, so it's not the greatest looking thing, but from the low of 0.95445 to the high of 0.96584, price retraced, came into that fib zone, went bullish. So I'm like, hey, it is what it is. But overall, I do want to see a better play like this, and the 4-hour arbitrage will help with this play. I do want to see price break above this zone right here. Before I feel a little more comfortable buying USHF. As much as I did see that play for the buy, I see this play for the sell a little more. As of right now, though. You know, price, I mean, it's already hit 1-to-1 off of that 78.6. So it's like not that I can't play it, but at this point, I'd rather just wait to see what USHF is going to do. And especially with arbitrage, I know that arbitrage was calling for a buy on the 4-hour because I saw it and I'm like, wow, I didn't play that. But I want to see what USHF is going to do. Is either A going to push to the downside from here, or B is going to continue going bullish. And, you know, I see that as price is increasing, volume is decreasing. So, and there's a lot of bullish candles here, but this is where the largest volume was, where price came and hit that 78.6. It could have been news. I mean, based off of what time the candlestick popped up, 7 o'clock, it does look like that was news. And then the volume was decreasing as price was coming back up to these highs. So I want to see what USHF is going to do. Personally, I think that is going to keep going bullish, but we may not see that quite yet. Gonna delete that. Again, I want to see this play out first before I start to look for any buy opportunities. Daily time frame. Volume is all the way down over here at these lows. That's where the majority of the volume is. Weekly time frame, though, the majority of the volume I think is bullish. Like if we're looking like at the high time frames. Oh, never mind. I mean, all the volume is still just down over here to 0.96324. So that's basically where we're at. 0.96324 is what I just said, right? On the weekly, that's where we're at. So let me double check that. Yeah, basically where I was saying is like 0.96440. That's where that weekly point of control is at. So we'll see what goes down with USHF. I'm bullish on it. I'm gonna throw on RB real quick. Daily time frame calling for the sell, but it's just like what the DXY looks like. It's kind of like, hey, as much as I'm calling for the sell, I'm not confirmed yet for the sell. So I'm still looking for buying opportunities on USHF. 4-hour time frame, like I mentioned, it did call for that buy. Breakout, retested, held over here, pushed to the upside. That would have been a nice play to be in. And as of right now, everything is going for the bulls. You know, we do have the arbitrage Z RB line right here. It still has to cross above ground zero, but other than that, this looks like it can definitely continue going to the upside. So I'm going to be watching for that on USHF this week. Right now, it could potentially push to the downside, like I mentioned, but I'm going to leave it alone. Not that interested in it. Okay, let's take a look at what I was talking about with Goldilocks last week. So I said gold looking for sells at 1848, waiting for 4-hour candle close. 4-hour RB called sell, and 1 hour under looks solid for the sell. Okay, and I do believe that this was indeed a decent sell that we took last week, right? Last week I said that, hey, you know, right now where price is rejecting off of this, you know, look, this little wedge that price is creating to the downside, and I said like I'm gonna sell it right here with arbitrage. I think it's over here on this chart. Let me see. Let me see where the sell is at. Yeah, there we go. The sell is right here. We got TP1 and almost TP2 hit. That's when I said, hey, you know what? I'm going to take my TP2 right here. And then price came and stopped its out break even. That's just trader's intuition. Knowing when well, not even trader's intuition. I saw that price was over here at this lower danger zone. And I was like, you know what? I don't think that price is going to reject off of here. I don't think that price is going to keep pushing to the downside. I think that price is just going to reject and go bullish from here. And so intuition was correct. And it's all good because we made money off of the trade. So going on over here, let's go into a fresh chart real quick. I want to go into the monthly time frame. And I'm going to take off RB. Put volume on. I actually want to look at, instead of looking at this gold, I want to look at the gold futures instead. The same thing, but the volume is more accurate because, well, I mean, it's just the volume is more accurate. So looking at the gold futures, last month we see a bearish candle with a wick to the downside. That's what ended up closing. Nothing telling me that price is gonna go bearish quite yet. Weekly time frame, however, there's definitely I still have my bearish bias on gold right now. Now I can't say that, hey, from this low to this high, yes, price did reject. I mean, even if I wanted to say this, from this low to this high, I mean, this would be even better. This would be a better argument for those who call the buys. But that price hit that 78.6, and it has hit 1-to-1 risk to reward off of that weekly time frame. And I'm saying, hey, that's actually what did happen. I've never wanted to say that would never happen. I always believe that with every move, once that 78.6 gets hit, I have high confidence that at least 1-to-1 from that is going to get hit. So, knowing that though, I still feel as if gold can still potentially go bearish, right? I'm going to the daily, actually. Daily time frame, bearish candle. It's larger than this candle, but it didn't engulf it, and the volume that came with the candle was lower than this candle's volume as well. I'm not necessarily too crazy about trying to sell gold at this time, because, going to the 4-hour time frame. As of right now, price has broken through this structure that I was saying that, hey, if this structure gets broken, then I might start to switch my bias from the 4-hour time frame down to a bullish bias on gold. But I still feel that there's still a possibility, from this high to this low down here, that price, it just rejected off of the 71% fib and pushed to the downside. I still feel like it can still fall, but I'm not necessarily too crazy about how gold is looking right now. Overall, yes, I do want to still look for the sells and see this push to the downside. That's what my bias is. But I'm also, this really did flag out, kind of. And this is more impulsive, and I put air quotations there, than this. This looks like a pretty decent flag. It didn't come all the way up here, but we'll see what goes down. If price comes up to the 78.6 and rejects us off there, then I might take a swing at it. I do see the possibility of price literally. Let me get rid of this. I do see the possibility of price literally coming from this low to this high, retrace down over to the 1843, 1840 area, then going bullish. That's a total possibility, and I might actually play that because the 1-hour time frame structure did get broken right here. So I'm going to go ahead and put the session volume on real quick. Oh yeah, price coming back up here is more than likely going to happen. Price went up, back and hit it. Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at all if price came back down into this zone for a potential push to the upside low key. I'm not gonna lie. And the point of control is right there. Let me get rid of this real quick. 4-hour time frame. That point of control is right there. Daily time frame. Let me see. Volume is at the lows. I'm more bearish on gold than I am bullish. That's for sure. I am definitely more bearish on gold than I am bullish. That's for sure. But I don't know if this little small term buy would play out. I'm going to have to be patient and see. Because all I see right here is price coming up to the 61.8 twice, failing to go to the 71%, and then price actually making that move to the upside. And then as price was falling, volume was increasing, and this sell is a solid move. That's how I'm looking at it right now. So let's see what happens with gold. I'm going to leave it alone for a little bit, but I am going to put RB on and see what RB is talking about. Okay, so weekly time frame, it's consolidating madness, but price remains underneath the RSI line, so I still do remain bearish on gold. Daily time frame, still very much bearish, so I'm still bearish on gold as well. On the daily 4-hour time frame, price is underneath that 4-hour RSI line, and this has just been playing games. But we've already played off of this recent 4 hours, so I'm not playing anything off of the 4-hour time frame. And then the 1-hour time frame just called for a sell not too long ago. It would have been dangerous to try to play it over here because not everything was giving the signal to sell. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if a retracement happened and then the sell continuation occurred. So yeah, I'm still bearish on gold. Like I said, there's no entry at this point in time. And let's see what goes down with gold. You see what I did there? It goes down because I'm selling. I'm just playing. Okay. That was terrible, I know. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the S&P futures. Let me actually go ahead and take a look at what I was talking about last week real quick for SPX 500. Before I continue with that, I'm still in the sell. I'm still in the sell. So let me go ahead and go on over here to the blue chart. All right, S&P 500. 1-to-1 from this 78.6 right here. Push to the downside. That smacked hardcore. I wish I would have gotten that entry for us instead of this entry right here. But nonetheless, we're in profit right now. And we've been sliding up and down in profit, and price has just been rejecting off of this 50 EMA. And, you know, again, our entry's at the 71%. We're in profit. How many points in profit are we? And this is, you know, right now we're 51 points in profit. So nothing too crazy, 513 pips. Stop loss is still 153, so prices move a third of where we want it to go. I still need price to come down to 4,014 before I move this trade to break even, right? So I still like to sell. I like the rejection that we're seeing on the daily time frame for sure. 4-hour time frame going down into it. 4-hour, however, let me get rid of the trade of that right there. I don't like how the 50 EMA is holding right there. So that's something I'm going to be paying attention to. But I do like how this fib, from this high to this low, the retracement, it played out nicely to at least to the 61.8 1-to-1. I like how that played out, but now we're going to have to see if price is going to turn around right here and go bullish or what. So still in the sell. Again, we're still in profit. If you are feeling uncomfortable with the sell and you're satisfied, or if you're satisfied with your profits, I highly recommend taking profits. Okay, so now that I went over that, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the futures. So let me go ahead and take a look at the S&P futures. Take off arbitrage. Add some volume. Okay. Oops. Okay. So weekly time frame, very much bearish as price is decreasing, volume is increasing. So it kind of validates the move. Bullish engulfing candle, but the volume is not that great compared to the other candlesticks. So I don't believe that that bullish move is real. So I still remain bearish with my daily bias, like my weekly and daily bias. I feel like it's still bearish. And same thing, right? There's these equal highs that are right here. 4-hour time frame is much more visible. Daily time frame, I do like that bearish move, but doesn't necessarily mean that price is gonna completely go bearish yet. I mean, I do see that this is a bearish engulfing candle compared to this, but still, nothing quite yet. Although I'm confident that price is gonna continue falling. Yeah, equal highs right here on S&P tells me that price can still come to these equal highs and run to the upside. And I mean, right now, according to how my strategy is with this, now that it's hit 1-to-1, it has every right to go up there. You know, there's nothing telling you to say that, oh, don't go up there now. Like, it's already did the 1-to-1 move. If I would have hit the 78.6 sniper, that I would have looked for to say that, okay, I'm at break even. Whatever the market does, it does. I don't care. I've made some money off of this play. That's how I would be saying. But unfortunately, we're in this trade. Or we're in the trade from the 71%. Let me just go ahead and draw that out right now. Whoops. So this is the trade that we're in right now. Yeah, we're in profit, but we're not at break even. You know, if we would have gone into this price right here, stop loss at break even would have been 107 pips, and 107 pips is literally like around right there, which price has hit multiple times. It stayed down there for quite some time, actually. So overall, though, like I said, I already drew the lower time frame fibs, and price is pushing to the downside. I love seeing that. I want to see this continue pushing to the downside. Like, that's overall what I'm trying to get at with S&P 500. Let me go on over to the 1-hour time frame to show you what my fear is. You know, the only thing that I'm fearing for this move, for it to potentially go bullish, is that, hey, this bullish move, it looks pretty good, actually, for buying opportunities right here. Again, same thing. 78.6 from this low, it's already hit 1-to-1. And so, price can continue going bearish, or price can literally continue going bullish and smack the extensions. And if it goes and smacks the extensions, more than likely my stop loss is going to get hit. So we'll see what goes on with S&P, but I'm still bearish on it, personally. Let me see, point of control is at. I mean, point of control price can still go a little higher, but point of control is right there with the price action to the left that there is. Daily time frame, point of control, the price can still definitely come up here. But overall, weekly time frame. Oh wow. I mean, with all this pricing, you would think that the volume would be still down here, but there's still a lot of volume up at 4,383. So, you know, I'm just gonna go ahead and say, I'm just gonna call it right now. And you know, this trade that we're in, go ahead and move your stop loss to break even. Don't even risk it, because I mean, as much as yes, I want to see price. I mean, even with this, just with this pricing, price is going to come down over here and hit take profit 1. But I don't want to take the risk of price like exploding, coming up to these highs, and then going up to grab that liquidity to the upside before falling. Because if it does that move that I want, where it does indeed actually come up to that point of control that's up to these highs, if it does come up here, we're getting a sell entry. Like, for sure, we're getting a sell entry, because that's all I see right now, and that's where the money's sitting at, right? That's where all the money's sitting at. So, yeah, like I said, move your stop loss to break even. 51 pips. 51 points. That's 510 pips. I mean, if you like counting that stuff, but 1-to-1 has not hit, but still, I don't want you to lose your money out here. Let me throw on arbitrage, and maybe arbitrage will actually change my mind about how I feel about moving my stop loss to break even. I haven't done it yet. So we'll see what RB's looking like. Ooh, that 4 hour. That 4 hour just got called. You know what? Instead of moving your stop loss to break even, move your stop loss to 4,213. That's what I would do. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move my stop loss to 4,213. I like this 4 hour play right here. Let me see what the rest of RB looks like. The risk to reward turns to a 13.13. Like, that turns into an insane risk to reward if this really plays out like how I think it will. Arbitrage Z is the only one that is saying that, RSI line is beneath ground zero, so I'm not really crazy over that. Level Pro is still saying that this is bullish, but fudge. Yeah, keep your stop loss at 4213. Whatever you risked with the trade last week, keep that same risk intact. Do you know why? Because now if this goes in his stop loss, instead of you having a stop loss that was up over here and it was 157, I think that was what the stop loss was. Let me see. 141 or 157, something like that. Instead of that being the stop loss, now your stop loss is 50 points instead of 150 points. So you literally cut the trade in half by a third of what you were initially risking. Does that make sense? So I think that's pretty fair. And if this smacks, it's gonna smackety smack, and it's gonna be a 13.13 risk to reward. And you can go and tell everybody that Next Wave gave you that trade. And DeFi domination. Alright. Just tell them your boy ABK and Payne gave you the play. How about that? Alright, so that's how I'm feeling when it comes to... Hold on, what the hecky? That's how I'm feeling with S&P. I'm moving my stop loss to 4213. I might play around and actually add an entry on my sell right here. 1 hour time frame, I do like that it's very much bearish. I do love seeing that it's very much bearish. Daily time frame is not called for that buy yet, and it's still holding underneath. I love seeing that. For the sell still, yeah, I'm going to hold my sell. Holding that thing. All right, NASDAQ. Same thing basically, if I'm not mistaken. What am I doing here? Let me see some ABK, S&P. Let me make sure what that stop loss was. Yeah, 153 stop loss. Now it's changed to a... Instead of 153 stop loss, now it's changed to a... Oops. A 50-point stop loss. Instead of 153 points, 50 points. Like, literally, you cut that by 2/3. Even if the stop loss gets hit, it's not even going to be that much of a big deal, quite honestly. Unless you over leverage, of course. Alright, NASDAQ, what I was saying was basically the same thing. Price came up to this fib zone at this area. I want to see it push to the downside as prices just continue to make lower lows. I don't think I said anything that much different. Yeah, it's the same thing. And so I still feel the same exact way with the futures, more than likely. Yes, it's currently dropped the wick at a key zone where price was rejecting at previously, so it can definitely still take off from here. And if we... Let me do this over here at this other chart. Oops. get rid of RB, get rid of, or add the volume, get rid of those things at the bottom. Right now, monthly time frame, we see that price is rejected off of this zone, and it could potentially just, you know, go bullish from here. I don't think it's going to do that necessarily. I feel like price is going to continue going bearish. Weekly time frame, as price is decreasing, volumes increasing, I still feel like price is going to continue to go bearish, you know. Going on to the daily time frame, I like this candlestick that we have here, and price from this lower high, from this lower high to this lower low, price has retraced back up to that 71%. Possibility of going bearish still exists for me. Right now, price is just currently at these equal lows, so I currently wouldn't play anything based off of technical analysis. But if I add RB to the mix, or if I add some, even the point of control for the volume is to the downside, so I expect that price will continue at least down to 11,986 to say the least. What time is it? It's almost 7. Okay, gotta speed it up a little bit. But overall, yeah, I'm definitely looking for price to push to the downside. Let me add an RB to the mix. 4-hour time frame, same thing. I am in love with the sell on US 30. NAS 100. I love the sell for it. 1-hour time frame is all here for it. So what I'm actually gonna do, I'm actually gonna place a sell stop on NASDAQ. Gonna have a sell stop on NASDAQ. I'm already in the sell for S&P in them, but it's okay. I want this sell stop more. Well, not more, but I want this sell stop. So I'm gonna send this out to everybody who's tapping in. Let me go ahead. Let me see. Dang, you can't set an alert, huh? Not with that, at least. Okay. The 4-hour time frame, you can for sure go ahead and get in right there. I wouldn't. Would rather just wait for the sell stop to activate and then see what that takes us. But yeah, I like this play. Let's see what it do. Pretty sure US 30. Hold on, give me a second, guys. Let me see something real quick on my phone. And Dow Jones is the same thing, guys. Like, it's the same play as what I just talked about. And I don't want to sound like a broken record, so I'm not going to go over the Dow Jones. I encourage you to go do your own analysis on it so that you can be able to play with it. You know what? Okay, there we go. And my kid is texting me, so yeah, let's go ahead and just continue on over. I'm going to actually go on over to the cryptos. Now, I'm going to talk about the cryptos, the regular crypto market that I was looking at before I talk about the futures market. And I'm going to do my own comparison on my own with the futures market. So, monthly time frame on Bitcoin, it left the wick to the downside. Last week I was saying that wick, I feel like price is going to end up going to close that wick, and that's actually what price is doing right now. It's pretty funny that it is doing that. Weekly time frame, what do I have hiding here? Hold on. No, I just didn't mark up anything. I said this zone right here, I feel like the price is going to reject off of that, and this weekly time frame is not telling me to buy. This is telling me sell this market right now. That's what, and it just closed. It literally just closed 3 minutes ago. So that's not a good sign for Bitcoin or the crypto markets in general, because Bitcoin does have the dominance, and it's going to remain holding this dominance for another couple of years, at least 2 or 3 years. So the Wyckoff that Peyton has mentioned in his past analysis, we're still watching for that. I'm still watching for the possibility of what price is going to do once it comes down into this fib zone right here. Still watching to see what price is going to do at 28K. But I do not like I also don't like as well that price did not even close above 30K on the weekly time frame. That is not a good look necessarily. Not that price made a lower low, which it was doing, but still, it's not a great look. Bearish engulfing candle right off of that zone, rejecting off of it. Like, man. Ethereum, we caught the sell on Ethereum because it looked better, but we could have easily caught the sell on Bitcoin as well. It didn't look as good. So I'm still gonna have my alert set down here. I'm just, again, not really feeling. Not feeling it. I'm not feeling this. I do see the possibility of yes. Oh, I already talked about this possibility on my analysis, I believe, on Wednesday. Or was it just or did I just do that with next wave? I forgot. But I'll say that, hey, price right here, boom. Right, it could just reject off of this 91% and continue going bullish. But I don't, again, with the weekly close, the way how that weekly close, I'm not feeling the sells. I'm not feeling the buys. If price comes up to 31,346, I'm more than likely going to be looking for sells there. So, gonna see what. Oops. Like, this is what I'm going to be looking for ultimately. And I don't know why I'm on this chart, but it's okay. I'm going to be ultimately looking for price to come there and then continue to the downside. So now, let me go on over to the futures. I was looking at the volume right there. I want to look at what the futures are looking like for Zibity. Futures the volume is showing more steadily, but there is more gaps in the market. But nonetheless, nothing's really changed in my opinion. Again, it's just more gaps. That's just the main difference. So I'm going to stick with what I had, and I'm going to just analyze it over here. When I need to come and look at the volume, I'll come and look at it, because that's the only reason why I come and look at the futures anyways. Ethereum, amazing sell play. Amazing sell play that we had. Got the sell up here, pushed to the downside. Price made a 257 point drop, which is 2,572 pips basically. Making that retracement. I fully expected to make this retracement, unless it just continues to push to the downside. But I do fully expect for it to make a retracement at least up to 1909 or maybe even 1935. I have an alert set here waiting for that play to happen to see if I'm going to get into another sell or if I'm just going to leave price alone. But if price can definitely not even get up there and just continue pushing to the downside. Weekly time frame. Let me just remove drawings real quick or hide my drawings. Weekly time frame, this is not something that I want to see for a sell at all. That is this is beyond what I would want to see for any type of buying possibilities for me to get into a buy on Ethereum, however, it could just, like Peyton said with the Wyckoff, it could just make this spring still and then push up, retracing the continuation to the upside. If it does that, we playing it. We playing that because it's the Wyckoff. But if it doesn't do that, then of course price is just going to continue going to the downside. So we'll see what goes down with Ethereum. I'm just going to go ahead and just go over Ethereum, the RB real quick. Let me actually come over here. Forex. No tripping. ABK, I mean. There we go. So 4-hour time frame on Bitcoin, calling for the sells. Again, the retracement, I wouldn't be surprised if price did make a retracement before falling at all. So a play like this, I won't be surprised. 1-hour time frame, it's bullish right now, but I'm not playing with this right now at the time. Daily time frame for sure is bearish still. So we're gonna see what's up, but weekly time frame still remains bearish on Bitcoin as well. Gonna see what's up with Zibidi. Ethereum, same thing. Gonna see what's up with it, but I'm pretty sure it looks very identical. Yeah, I won't be surprised if it actually falls from right here where it's at to make that spring. If it does make that spring, we're gonna play that. Okay, that's for those pairs. I'm going to go through these GBPs really quick. I don't necessarily trade GBPs like that. And I'm pretty sure even the charts will show that, yeah, what I was looking at last week didn't happen. I was looking for price to come up to like 1.28, 158, and then continue to the downside, but price didn't do that. So I'm not really necessarily looking at that. Let me look though. So daily time frame, got some pretty bearish candles right here. Some pretty bearish candles on GU. To me, it just looks like price just wanted to come up to these equal highs, grab them, grab the equal highs real quick, and then push to the downside. So what it's kind of looking like. 4-hour time frame, bearish engulfing candle right there. I'm not necessarily bullish on GU, but I don't want to play the bears either. I think I still want to hold my bias of I want to see price come up to these highs still. I think I still want to hold this for now, unless the GBPs are really just going to hold at this zone and then continue going bearish. Like, I don't mind playing them on the lower time frames. Like, I have absolutely no problems. Like this, I was going to play this. This sell right here, I was gonna play this, but I played EU instead. I have no problem playing that on the lower time frames, but weekly wise, I'm not necessarily so sure if it's going to go bullish quite yet. But I'm okay with remaining with my bearish bias on GU. I'm just gonna throw RB on here. I don't have anything to really go over other than that with technical analysis. I know the daily time frame is still very much bearish, but if it does break out, we could possibly see a retracement, then a continuation play on GU. So that's something that you want to watch for on the daily. It's not quite set up yet, but we'll see what happens. 4-hour time frame. Oh, the sell. Yeah, sell is gonna probably continue falling. And 1-hour time frame is bearish. Yeah. It's probably going to continue falling, like I said. GJ, don't necessarily have any desire. Let me see what I was looking at for GJ real quick. Hold on. Yeah, GJ bounced off of that 71%, never looked back. And it sucks that I didn't get in that. But overall, though, GJ is coming to an area where it could potentially sell. Let me come over here and talk about it. Take off that, put volume on real quick. Okay, weekly time frame. Weekly time frame, bullish candle. This does not look like it's slowing down. Price is just making higher highs right now on the weekly. Higher highs and higher lows. Just making higher highs and higher lows. Coming over to here. Daily time frame. From the high of 168.371 to the low of 155.640. Price is coming into an area where it could potentially sell off of, but you got to remember, this is a wick that price came and hit 78.6. I mean, the 71%, and it just took off. So we have to be careful with any type of sales we're looking at over here. So that's all I really have for GJ. I'm pretty sure that RB is pretty bullish on it. Let me just add that real quick. I'm not going to really pay attention to volume right now. I'll pay attention to what the volume looks like when price gets to where I would need it to. Daily time frame, yeah, price is gonna start turning bullish pretty soon, which means the 4 hour and under is all bullish as well. 1 hour might be starting to call for a sell shortly, but I'm gonna wait until price climbs up a little higher. So with that being said, with all that being said, is there anything that anybody wants me to go over? Let me check if anybody's still on here. Nope. If that's the case, on Zoom, I'm gonna go ahead and cut the recording there.
Recording stopped.
Okay, but now on YouTube, is there anybody has any questions, comments, concerns, or am I good to go out of here? Let me go on over to Euro GBP real quick. I don't trade this pair often. The price is still going bullish. All right, we're finally gonna get that breakout that I want to see before I start to really feel good about buys or getting into trades on EG. But no questions? Yeah, I'm not analyzing EG. I'm just talking about a little. But if no questions, all right, y'all. I'm gonna hop off. Thank you for tapping in, and let's make some money this week. Later, y'all.